In Europe right now, you have a militarization of the EU going on, which I think is very scary because, with the war in Ukraine, the sanctions against Russia, the effort to try to imply that China is helping Russia, what we are heading towards is the danger of a real bloc building, where you have a NATO bloc with the United States and Europe and maybe some Australia and Japan, but then you have a Russia-China bloc. And given the fact that we have right now these sanctions, they are forcing practically a different financial system. You can already see that trade is occurring in renminbi and ruble. Other countries are starting to not trade in dollar anymore. I mean, if this thing goes wrong, you will have two complete blocs which will be hostile to each other. There will be a summit of NATO in June in Spain, where on the agenda is a globalized NATO. If that would go through, and right now, unfortunately, it looks like it, the danger that you have a war between these two blocs is, in my view, a question of time. And that would be a catastrophe for all of humanity. So I was very encouraged when Imran Khan said that the OIC should, work with China to try to mediate, because, we need a new paradigm in international relations. I think that, if we go into a geopolitical confrontation in the age of thermonuclear weapons, we could look at the annihilation of civilization. And on the other side, one of the speakers, I think it was Foreign Minister Qureshi, also mentioned the need for a new security architecture in the region of the Islamic world. But, I'm proposing to have an international security architecture for everybody. Every single country must be taken care of, because security pacts or security alliances only function if the interest of everyone is taken into account. So the Schiller Institute will have a very important conference on the 9th of April, and I want to invite all of your viewers to come and look at that. We will try to revive something like the non-aligned movement. We will have an effort to put new principles overcoming geopolitics on the international agenda. And I think the OIC, if they would really form a bloc and be unified, they are really strong. They could be one of the major forces in the world trying to not have this bloc building, but to move towards a higher principle of, coincidence of opposites, of peaceful coexistence, reviving the principles of the non-aligned movement. Many of the OIC members used to be very strong members in the non-aligned movement. And I think you need that kind of an intervention, because right now what is happening in Europe is really scary. The EU wants to become a military force. Germany turned into a war cabinet. I think this is a very dangerous development. And I know it's very difficult for somebody living in one culture to completely understand the importance of what is going on in other parts of the world. But right now, I think this dangerous moving towards a clash has to be avoided by all means.